Hi, this is Kim. Today we'll be conducting an experiment on sink or float. Before we begin, let's go over the scientific method. First is the purpose or the question. Next comes the research. Then you'll make a hypothesis or an educated guess. Then comes the actual experiment. Then we'll make an analysis and finally a conclusion. For our experiment, sink or float, our question will be, will the objects sink or float when placed in the water? For the research, the teacher will discuss the concepts of sinking and floating based on the material of the object, what it is made of, the density of the object, and the weight of the object. The teacher will then provide definitions for each. The definition of sink is moving down with gravity. It is when the object is dropped into the liquid that the gravity will pull it to the bottom. The definition of float is when an object, when placed into water or liquid, will stay on top. The next step is my hypothesis. I have 6 objects that I will be testing. First, I have a coin. I hypothesize that the coin will sink. Next, I have a paperclip. I hypothesize that the paperclip will also sink. Then, I have a toy rubber frog. I hypothesize that the frog will float. Then, I have a glass pebble. I hypothesize that the glass pebble will sink. Then, I have a wooden pattern block shape. I hypothesize that the pattern block will also sink. Lastly, I have a button. I hypothesize that the button will float. Let's see if my hypotheses are correct. First, we'll start with the coin. I place it in the water, and it sunk. So my hypothesis was correct. Next is the paperclip. When placed in the water, it also sinks to the bottom. Once again, my hypothesis was correct. Then comes the toy frog. It floated. My hypothesis was correct. Then comes the glass pebble, and it sunk to the bottom. My hypothesis was correct. Then comes my wooden pattern block, and it floats. That means that my hypothesis was wrong. Last is the button. The button sinks to the bottom. My hypothesis was wrong because I originally said that it would float. So, after completing the experiment and making my analysis based on my hypothesis, I can now make a conclusion. Based on this experiment, you can conclude that the objects sink or float depending on the weight, the material in which the object is made of, and its density. I hope you enjoyed this experiment and come back again for the next one.